Hi guys, and welcome back to Autism at Home, brought to you by us at Early Autism Project Malaysia through our non-profit initiative, the Hope Project. I'm Joshebet Isaacs, and welcome back to our 25th series, and this time all about toilet training. Now, we've already covered 4 lessons on getting ready for toilet training, building tolerance to the toilet, a toilet training routine, as well as peeing in the toilet. And this 5th lesson is all about pooping in the toilet. And our team has just put pooping emojis all around me, right? Well, if you have been following along with the lessons and practicing regularly, then your child would be quite familiar with not only the toileting routine, but also peeing in the toilet regularly. And if your child is not able to do any of that yet, then please go back, review those lessons, and please start there first. And so when it comes to bowel movement, there have been studies and research showing that children on the autism spectrum do struggle with gastrointestinal challenges. This means that regular bowel movement may be challenging, and some children with autism may actually have regular constipation, which will make learning to go to the toilet even harder. It would be recommended to see a doctor if this is the case, as there are variable reasons for this, and especially children who have allergies as well as those who have very limited foods that they are willing to eat. So before we even start with the toilet training component, let's look at the basic biological and physical needs. Essentially, a child should be going every day or alternate days, and as parents, we will need to monitor if they have sufficient fiber, sufficient water intake, and also sufficient physical movements, all of which will impact regular bowel movement. There are also additional prescription daily medications that are safe for children on a regular basis to assist with bowel movements, or even suppositories, but all these just need to be recommended and guided by a medical doctor. And so when it comes to our ABA approach of teaching, we would always look at the 3 key strategies, which include breaking skills down, pairing with reinforcement, and providing sufficient practice. We essentially always want to look at things from the perspective of the child. And so a few key factors we would be looking out for is, firstly, is bowel movement difficult for our child? Referring back to challenges with constipation. Is their stool hard, resulting in it being painful for them? We would want to resolve this quite immediately so that we can build a positive association with going to the toilet. Secondly would be to observe the general timings of the day your child tends to poo. Is it in the mornings or is it at nights? This will actually help us decide when to start practicing. And thirdly would be any signs or routines that your child may have when they want to poo. For example, they grab for a diaper, or they hide behind a curtain, or they may have a certain posture, like spreading their legs slightly or even squatting. Essentially, how do you know that your child needs to go poo-poo? And lastly, is there anything you can observe are potential deterrents for your child to poo in the toilet? For example, some of our kiddos can't stand the smell, or we heard from our international BCBA, Kim Knippel, that one of her students was just grossed out by seeing the poo. Then in terms of materials we need to prepare would be pretty similar to what you would have already prepared in the last few lessons. The most important would be the social story, so we can explain to our kiddos that poo-poo goes in the toilet. As usual, you would have the toilet icon that's on the outside of the toilet as well as on your schedule. Then you've got your first then visual to communicate first poo goes in the toilet, then reward. You've obviously got your toilet training schedule, which will have the breakdown of the steps of toileting. Remember to include every single step. You can go back to previous lessons to check that out. And lastly, but most importantly, the rewards. We need to really identify a very reinforcing reward for this skill, and be that the iPad, water play activities, we even use food reinforcers as well. And so in terms of how we would teach our kiddos the concept of pooping in the toilet, so firstly is to do some pre-teaching and just to model that to them that poo-poo goes in the toilet. You could do this when you complete cleaning your child's diaper, and depending on how the poop is, you could turn the diaper, basically flip the diaper over the toilet and try to drop the poo-poo into the toilet and say loudly and clearly, poo-poo goes in the toilet. Then the next step would be trying to actually create the association to poo in the toilet. Your child could still be wearing a diaper and standing in the bathroom, but essentially to teach him or her the location, the room that they poo. And how you would do this is when your child reaches for the diaper or starts presenting those signs of wanting to poo, you would quickly read the social story and guide your child to the bathroom. Some families even keep the diapers in the bathroom so that they have to go there to get the diaper and put the diaper on only in the bathroom and then remain in the bathroom as they poo and clean up as well. Now, of course, we do need to remember one of our golden rules, which is 90% preventative and only 10% reactive. And this means that we need to have started reading the social story and giving our kiddos a heads up before the actual poo-poo time comes, so it doesn't come as a shock or surprise and your child doesn't start protesting or refusing. Next up is sitting on the toilet. Now, if you have already practiced peeing in the toilet, sitting shouldn't be a problem. However, the only difference is that your child will be sitting with a diaper if they use a diaper to poo-poo. Now, by the way, if your child is willing to just sit on the toilet and start to poo, then just skip all these steps. But just in case your child is not willing to poo-poo without a diaper, then we are suggesting to start with sitting with a diaper and completing their bowel movement in that position. Then we would want to start to fade the diaper, and we do this in the breaking skills down way. And this would include initially cutting a small hole out of the diaper at the bottom. You following my train of thought? Essentially, so our kiddo still feels the comfort of the diaper, but their poo-poo can actually fall straight into the toilet. Do remember to reinforce and reward if your child is able to do this. And then we start to cut a larger hole until essentially your child may be wearing the pre-cut diaper almost like a belt and hopefully is able to try just without it. I know you're probably thinking this is such a waste of money, and as a parent myself who has invested a lot in diapers, I feel you. But this is just temporary and it will actually help to set your child up to be successful. Alright, well, by this point, we hope your child is successfully able to poo-poo not only in the bathroom, but sitting down on the toilet and hopefully pooping into the toilet without a diaper. Now, some troubleshooting, some potential reasons why this may not work out would be firstly, insufficient opportunities to practice. And a quick tip for this would certainly be to increase high fibrous foods, water intake, as well as movement so that there will be more frequent bowel movement. Secondly, there may be a lack of consistency. Every approach we teach requires a high level of consistency and continuity, and this may be difficult at times to follow through. And so do remember that you need to keep the consistent routine for a sufficient period of time till your child is successfully pooping in the toilet. Perhaps the expectations are too challenging. This can be true, and so please do review the previous lessons and see if you need to start back at building tolerance to just being in the bathroom or even just sitting on the toilet. Remember, these steps would ideally need to be practiced every day in order to see results. One last tip would be the position, and for some of our kiddos, standing or squatting may be easier, and thankfully there are actually squatty potties that help children sit in a position that feels like they are squatting and may make it easier for them to have a bowel movement into the toilet bowl. And so now it's your turn. Firstly, observe your child. Are there any challenges why bowel movement is so difficult? When is your child most likely to have a bowel movement? Are there any signs of when your child is about to have a bowel movement? And is there any reason why your child may refuse to have a bowel movement in the toilet? Then you want to prepare your materials, social story, toilet icon, first then visual, toilet visual schedule, rewards. Now it's time to practice. Start with trying to demonstrate that poop goes in the toilet every time your child finishes their bowel movement in their diaper. Then next up, try to implement having a bowel movement in the bathroom. Then getting your child to sit on the toilet with their diaper. Then start to trim away at the diaper, creating a hole for the poo-poo to fall into the toilet bowl, but then still provide the comfort of a diaper around their waist. Lastly, try to poo-poo in the toilet bowl without a diaper. Well, there you have it. We hope that helps. And do let us know your feedback and how it went. You can comment below, or you can tag us in a highlight video, not a video of your child going to the toilet on social media, of course, but just let us know somehow in a way that is appropriate. And we will see you in the next lesson on wiping clean after the toilet. Thank you very much for your support. And with the amount of interest we have received online, we have actually started providing online services and currently work with clients in other states of Malaysia, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Switzerland, Indonesia, China, and Brunei. do get in touch with us for more information by scanning this QR code. And if you haven't already, do check out our online resource platform, Autism at Home, which has all the lesson videos, corresponding articles, and downloadables available for you for free. Stay updated through our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Do click on the subscribe and follow buttons to get more information. Thank you for watching, and we will see you soon.